Okay, part 2 of writing equations with a focus and a directrix. We can also have parabolas that open to the left or to the right. They don't have to open up or down. The thing that you guys need to remember is our vertex is still going to be h and k, and the formula for our a value is still going to be the absolute value of a equals 1 over 4p. The only difference in our equations, well, a little bit, the main difference in our equations is that we're going to say the x equals a times y minus k squared plus h. Look, there's my next mistake. That should be an h. All right, so that's the equation that we're going to use. Hopefully you recognize that the x and the y values have changed places, right? And also the h and the k value have changed places. So when your parabola opens to the left or right, it's going to be an x equals equation. So let's first look at our third example on this note sheet. It says write the equation of a parabola given a focus of 3, 0 and a directrix of x equals 2. So here is our focus, and here is our directrix. X equals 2. When you have an equation that is x equals, we know that is going to be a vertical line. So let's go ahead and plot the values that we were given. Our focus is located at 3, 0. So we're going to the right 3 and up 0. That's our focus. And our directrix, one more time, was x equals 2. So where is that going to be graphed? We're going to go to our x-axis, find where it equals 2, and we're going to draw our vertical line. That's our directrix right there. It was x equals 2. So our focus and our directrix are given, but we need to figure out where our vertex is located. Our vertex is always halfway in between our focus and our directrix. So it's a tight squeeze here, but we are going to plot our vertex right here in between our directrix and our focus. So as an ordered pair, that point is 2.5, 0. We're going to go halfway in between, right? Halfway in between 2 and 3 is 2.5. So let's figure out how big our p value is. The distance from the vertex to the focus is just 0.5. It's half a step. So we have all of the information that we need now in order to write our equation. Don't forget our vertex is always h and k. You always want to label those values. So here we go. We'll go ahead and write our equation. We know it is opening sideways. So we have x equals our a value times y minus k squared plus h. Well, we already know our k value and our h value, so we need to determine what our a value is. We're going to use the same formula that we did when our parabolas opened up and down. It's just the absolute value of a is equal to 1 over 4p. So in this instance, the absolute value of a is going to equal 1 over 4, and our p value was 0.5. So we know the absolute value of a is just equal to 1 over 4 times 0.5 is 2. So our a value is 1/2. Now let's figure out if this a value should be positive or negative. When you look at this, our graphed attributes already, we know our vertex is always in the center, and we know our parabola can never cross our directrix, so it's going to open to the right. And when we open to the right, that means our a value is positive. So our a value is going to end up being a positive 1/2. So when we write this equation, we get x equals positive 1/2 times y minus k. Our k value we labeled on the graph was 0. So y minus 0 squared. And then our h value was 2.5. So plus 2.5. Now, if you leave your answer like this, it's completely acceptable, but we can simplify this a bit if we want to. It's the same thing as saying x equals 1/2 times y squared plus 2.5. And that is the equation of our parabola. All right, let's look at one more example of a horizontal parabola. Oops, that went a little crazy. So we're going to write the equation of a parabola given the focus of -2, 5 and a vertex of 4, 5. So our focus is -2, 5. That means we're going to go to the left 2 and up 5. Right there. And then we are given a vertex of 4, 5. That's where our vertex is. And remember, our vertex is always HK. So 4, 5. We're going to go to the right 4 and up 5. That's our vertex. I'll label that with a V, and the blue point was our focus. All right, so we have our vertex and we have our focus. We remember that if our focus is to the left, then our parabola is going to open to the left. We always open towards our focus. So rough sketch right there, that's what it looks like. Now our p-value is still the distance from our focus to our vertex. How many steps apart are those two values? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We see our p-value is equal to 6. So if we wanted to find our directrix, we would just go 6 steps in the opposite direction. Starting from our vertex, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 steps away. So we are going to have a vertical directrix right here. And the equation for this directrix is going to be x equals, and it crosses our x-axis at +10, so x equals 10. So we've got all of this information. We know our p-value is 6. Now we need to write our equation for the parabola that opens to the left. We know that our formula is going to be x equals, because it opens sideways, so x equals a times y minus k squared plus our h value. Okay, we need to determine what our a value is. So the absolute value of a is still 1/4p. And we already determined that our p value was 6. So 1/4 times 6. That makes the absolute value of a 1/24. Does our parabola open to the left or does it open to the right? We look at the graph that we sketched and it opens left. That means our a value has got to be negative. So a equals -1/24. When we write this equation, we need to substitute in the values for a, for our k value, and for our h value. We know x equals, our a value is -1/24. And in the parentheses, we need our y minus k. Well, our k value was 5. K value was 5. So we're going to say y minus 5 squared. And then our h value was 4. So +4. And there you have it.